In the headlines, federal government files 16-count charges against Malami, son. Abducted Kwara monarch released after 25 days in kidnappers' den. Northern Khan hails Adamawa governor for granting clemency to farmer. And away from Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau junta releases 6 opposition politicians held since coup. Hello and welcome to the News Update on Trust TV. I am Idris Baturi. The federal government has filed 16 alleged money laundering charges to the tune of 1.014 billion naira against a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SAN and his son Abubakar Abdulaziz Malami before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Also listed as a co-defendant in the case is Hajia Bashir Asabi. According to the charge, the government is accusing Malami, his son, and other of being involved in the laundering and concealment of 1,014,848,500 naira allegedly traced to a commercial bank. In the 16 charges, the Nigerian government alleged that between July 2022 and June 2025, within Abuja and the jurisdiction of the court, the defendants procured Metropolitan Auto Tech Limited to conceal the unlawful origin of the money. The charge alleges, in part, that the defendant used the company as a front to conceal the origin and movement of the funds, an act the government says constitutes money laundering under Nigerian law. The alleged offense is said to be contrary to Section 21C of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 and punishable under Section 18.3 of the same act. The 16 charges revealed how Malami allegedly engaged Metropolitan Auto Tech Limited to launder funds. The Ojibara of Bayagan Ile, Kamilu Salami, who was abducted by bandits 25 days ago, has regained his freedom. The traditional ruler was kidnapped from his farm and was released late Tuesday night, sparking widespread jubilation in the community as residents thronged the palace to celebrate his return. A community spokesperson, Ayin Lalawal, confirmed the release, saying the monarch was freed after a large ransom, raised solely by the community, was paid in 2 installments. Lawal said additional vigilantes and hunters have been deployed to secure the area and expressed hope that displaced residents will soon return. The monarch has been taken to Ilorin for medical attention, while his younger brother Aliu confirmed the release, describing the ordeal as frightening. An unspecified number of NSCDC officers remain unaccounted for following a terrorist attack on an outpost in Ibrahim Later village along the Wawaluma Road in Niger State Borgu local government area. The assault occurred around 4 a.m. on Tuesday when attackers stormed the facility in large numbers and opened fire, forcing some personnel to flee. Several rifles were reportedly stolen during the attack. NSCDC spokesperson Abubakar Rabiu confirmed the incident, noting that the full extent is still being assessed. Investigations are ongoing and the state commandant will provide an official briefing once details are verified.
The girls help us for this Nigeria. Yana cikin taya nan. Yana cikin taya. Ya ita ne. Baga inda hita nan ya zuwa hita nan ba.
The Plateau State Police Command says efforts are ongoing to rescue 28 travelers kidnapped on their way from Zak community in Bashar district, Wasa local government area. The victims, including men, women, and teenagers, were abducted on Sunday while heading to a Maulud celebration in Sabalayi village. Relatives say the kidnappers have demanded 1.5 million naira per victim, an amount they cannot afford. Security forces, including soldiers and helicopters, have been deployed to locate the victims. In a statement, the police said An intelligence-driven team is working around the clock to rescue the travelers and apprehend the perpetrators. Authorities also appeal to anyone with useful information to contact the nearest police station. The Plateau Environmental Protection and Sanitation Agency, PEPSA, has shut down an abattoir in Jos North. The agency described the facility as illegal and unhygienic, warning that it posed serious health risks to the public. PEPSA's Director General Samuel Nathaniel said inspections revealed a lack of basic infrastructure, including clean water, proper waste disposal, and adequate ventilation. Poor waste management was also contaminating both surface and groundwater. The shutdown follows complaints from residents that the abattoir operators were burning tires to singe animal hinds and hides and using dirty water to wash meat. PEPSA says it will not tolerate illegal operations and urges the public to support efforts to ensure all meat sold in Plateau State is safe for consumption. A fire broke out on Tuesday night at Terminus Market in Jos, Plateau State, destroying 25 shops. Firefighters from both the federal and state fire services quickly contained the blaze, preventing it from spreading further. Market Secretary Zachary Saleh said the damage was significantly less than the devastating fire in April 2025, which destroyed over 500 shops and caused losses of more than 1 billion naira. The Jos Main Market Authority confirmed the incident, assuring that no casualties were reported and that traders' safety remains secured. Security agencies condoned of the area and investigations into the cause of the fire are ongoing. Authorities promise support for affected traders and measures to prevent future incidents, emphasizing that the safety of traders and the public remains top priority. A Wuye bridge accident involving a Peugeot 206 and an unidentified man caused heavy traffic on Wednesday morning in the Federal Capital Territory. Witnesses, including fishermen at the scene, said the crash happened around 11:30 a.m. with the victim sustaining serious injuries. FRSA officials moved him to a nearby hospital for treatment. Traffic built up on the bridge as responders handled the scene.
We were seated here when the car fell, but the driver fell before the car. That was when we went to his rescue. We never knew that he was still alive, not until we brought him out of the water. The rescue officials have been here since, but the ambulance is yet to be here. We are also thinking of taking him up the bridge to use public transport to take him to the hospital. Then the family can be contacted. He has been here for almost an hour.
The Northern Christian Association of Nigeria has lauded Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri for granting clemency to Sunday Jackson, a Christian farmer previously sentenced to death following a violent farm attack. In a Christmas message, Northern Khan described the earlier conviction as a miscarriage of justice and said the governor's intervention has restored public confidence in fairness and the rule of law. The pardon sparked celebrations across Yola, with residents taken to the street in jubilation. The association also urged Nigerian leaders to use the festive season as a time for national renewal, justice, and lasting security, while commending security agencies for their efforts against terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping. Northern Khan called on all leaders to uphold justice, equity, and the rule of law, and encourage citizens to remain law-abiding and committed to peaceful coexistence. Still on the same issue, United States Congressman Riley Moore has welcomed the release of Christian farmer Sunday Jackson, who was previously sentenced to death by Adamawa State High Court. Jackson was convicted after killing a herder in what was described as self-defense following an attack on his home. Moore, who had repeatedly called for Jackson's release and raised the case during U.S. congressional hearing on Nigeria's security situation, described the pardon as a positive step. Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri announced that Jackson was granted state pardon as part of Christmas and New Year celebrations. Moore praised the Tinubu administration for engaging the U.S. government, but warned that authorities must ensure Jackson's safety going forward. This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Christmas shopping slows in Maiduguri despite food price drop. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Federal government files 16-count charges against Malami, son. An abducted Kwara monarch released after 25 days in kidnappers' den. Moving on to more stories, Maiduguri residents have called for more reduction in prices of food items across the country as the Christmas celebration draws near. Christmas shopping have started and sellers in Maiduguri are complaining of low patronage attributed to the economic status of the country. Trust TV's Bitrus Kurutsi has more.
Traders offer mixed reports. Some say sales are better than last year, while others lament low customer turnout. Many appeal to the government to reduce the cost of fertilizers, arguing that high production costs still impact food prices despite the current drop.
But now things can't dey low small, but no money for buying something. We dey buy goods, we know they see people where they buy because of lack of money. And some people say they never pay them up to now. They never come market. See us we dey, nobody for market, nobody where they pass. So let government to help us.
They get customer now. I've been that 5 minutes in time you come, you for see customers here, full. You get one way go up, you get one way go down. Like Mangina. Mangista is 1,900. Royco 1,300. Tomato 1,800. Then spices. I have rosemary.
Customers say food prices have declined but hope for even lower rates.
50% na price na last year. Kusan ya sauka this year. The price din da muke sayarwa 130.
A bag of rice now goes for 55,000 naira. Foreign bag 60,000 naira, down from 80 to 100,000 naira. Beans were 270,000 naira, now 90,000 naira. In the evening, you can see more people, but the morning turnout is low. Chicken is very cheap now. Big ones, 10,000 naira. Chicks, 4,500. Broilers, 5,000 naira. Prices have dropped by 1,000 naira, which makes them affordable.
The price of things is not like this last year. Things of price of the things now has come down, but we need the thing to come down again, so that everybody can afford it without any headache. You know, rice is coming down, other maize is coming down, but up to now urea is still 60 something. So if something can come down, let it come all. But farm produce come down, the other things like urea, fertilizer and other things, up to now is still high.
The prices of food items have dropped, but clothing costs have skyrocketed. We hope that after Christmas, prices for goods and services will fall even further. As Christmas nears, many Maiduguri residents continue to weigh affordability against festive demands highlighting the ongoing economic challenges in the region. Petros Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
The long-running tension between the Bachama and Chobo communities in Lamur, the local government area of Adamawa State, is easing, following a peace accord brokered by Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri. As a confidence step, the Adamawa State government has relaxed the 24-hour curfew earlier imposed on Lamur Day. Movement is now allowed from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Trust TV's Gibson Soadigu report from Yola.
Smiles, handshakes, and open conversations filled the banquet hall at the government house in Yola. It marked a clear shift in the Adamawa State government to push the months of conflict between the Bachama and Chobo-speaking communities of Lamur, the local government area. The dispute rooted in land ownership had led to death, destruction of property, and shutdown of daily life, forcing the government to impose a round-the-clock curfew. Governor Umaru Fintiri presided over the signing of the peace agreement by leaders of both communities, signaling a fresh attempt to turn the page.
Thank you. Shake hands. Thank you. We're very grateful to you.
Declaring no victor, no vanquished, Governor Fintiri announced the easing of the curfew, permitting movement between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. each day. He praised both sides for choosing dialogue, admitting the crisis weighed heavily on him, while expressing hope that calm has returned to Lamur Day.
If I tell you I have not been losing sleep because of the disagreement, I'm not saying the truth. Because I disrespect it, I don't respect it, but I give glory to God that we're able to overcome it.
The Vice Chairman of the Adamawa State Peace Commission, Dr. Jamila Suleiman, said sustained engagement with both communities help rebuild trust and commitment to peace.
We were very happy when they made commitments to peace. They were ready to stop and drop the arms. They were ready to pursue a course of peace building. They were ready to stop all the social media incitement and songs that were inciting violence.
Leaders of the Bachama Chobo communities pledged to respect the agreement, bringing relief to residents after months of violence that disrupted trade and social life.
We stand to ensure that the peace we desire in Adamawa State, and that peace will be achieved by the grace of God.
Let's support the Chobo and our brothers, our uncles, our nephews, our nieces, our friends. We all are friends that are going to live with us.
Top government officials and security commanders witnessed the accord, underlining a shared resolve to keep peace in Lamur Day and prevent a return to violence. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now in business, the federal government recorded a fiscal deficit of 2.66 trillion naira in the second quarter of 2025, according to the Budget Office of the Federation. Revenue for the period stood at 5.97 trillion naira, while expenditure hit 8.63 trillion naira, with the deficit financed through domestic borrowing. Oil production averaged 1.68 million barrels per day, below the budget benchmark, affecting revenue, while non-oil revenue exceeded projections due to improved taxes. Debt service cost the government 4.44 trillion naira above projections, and cash management delays continue to slow project execution. Despite fiscal pressures, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Abubakar Bagudu said capital investment remained a priority, with the real GDP growth at 4.23% driven by services and non-oil sectors. The report urged revenue mobilization, expenditure reprioritization, and better cash management to ensure fiscal sustainability. Now, away from Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau's ruling military junta has released 6 political opposition figures who had been detained following last month's coup. The 6 are reportedly close associates of Domingos Samuels Pereira, head of the PAIG party, who remains in custody. The High Military Command described the release as a gesture of good faith and a step forward restoring constitutional normality and respecting international rights. The military seized power on 26 November after ousting outgoing President Umaru Sissoco Embalo, suspending the electoral process and announcing it would govern for 1 year. Meanwhile, Senegal's Foreign Minister Cheikh Niang visited the country to meet with detained opponents and request their release. In sport, Super Eagles head coach Eric Chelle has identified areas his team must improve ahead of their 2025 AFCON clash with Tunisia this weekend. Chelle spoke after Nigeria's 2-1 victory over Tanzania in their opening Group C match, with goals from Semi Ajayi and Ademola Lookman securing the win in Morocco. The coach admitted that the second half exposed lapses, particularly in the team's inability to finish off games. He said the technical crew is already working to address the issue. Nigeria currently sits second in Group C, while Tunisia tops the group following their 3-1 win over Uganda. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I am Idris Ayebatura, thanking you for being with us. Good evening.